Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Randall.
an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via, and I'm currently serving 1,214 years in Red Onion State Prison for capital murder in Pound, Virginia, in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. Today, I'm going to talk about betrayal. I'm going to talk about business deals. I'm going to talk about trying to look out for other people and help people and whatnot, because I just had a situation that went down that it really got under my skin, especially with everything I've been dealing with the freaking constant lockdowns and so on and so forth. So this is the deal. I've spoken in a previous podcast that for straight guys in prison, you don't deal with homosexuals. You just don't. There is no political correctness in prison. There is no cancel culture in prison. There's none of that. You're either predator or you're prey. Now, the reasons why a straight guy does not hang out with homosexuals in prison, why they don't really deal with homosexuals in prison and so on and so forth is this. If you were seen hanging out with them on a regular basis, then you have a lot of guys are thinking in their mind that you are also gay. And that makes you fair game. So these guys can and oftentimes will pull up on you like, yo, shorty, what's up, baby? You know, you looking good in them blue jeans or whatever. You know, what's going up in the cell, man? Let me whip it out and you take care of it for me. Man, I ain't gay, man. Well, you know, I mean, you are now. And like, you know, so then you either got to stab this dude, you got to fight this dude, or you going to get raped, you going to get turned out. Next thing you know, you a homosexual, or you pulling life in prison, and you might have only had 2 or 3 years to begin with. Like, that has happened a lot in prison. So that's why straight dudes, it doesn't matter what your morality says. It doesn't matter what you believe, who you friends with on the street. None of that matters. Like, in prison, man, you're predator or you're prey. And you can't put yourself in a vulnerable position. So when I first come over to the part I'm in now, B2, there's this transgender over here named Jess. And, you know, at first I didn't speak to her. But one night we was out on night rec when we used to get night rec. And I saw her sitting at the table just looking incredibly sad. And I swear it felt like God put it on my heart to go talk to this person. So I went over and I stood at the table like, yo, look, you want to play some chess? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. So we start playing chess, you know, and the first game, you know, we're not talking to one another. We're just playing chess, you know, just comfortable silence. And the second game, that's when we start to talk, and I'm like, my name is Chris. This is a little bit about me, blah, blah, blah. She does the same, like, you know, we kind of introduce ourselves. And we start to talking, and I'm like, hey, look, no offense, no disrespect. I'm just asking out of a place of curiosity, and I don't understand. I've been a man in prison 30 plus years, and I've never gone the homosexual route. I can't wrap my mind around like being intimate or whatever with another dude. Like, if I even tried to think about, like, my mind is going to shy away from that, and I don't comprehend. I don't understand it. And I really don't understand and comprehend how a man can view himself or see himself as a woman. So I start to ask questions. And we have this conversation. It's a really, really deep conversation. We kind of start to talk a little bit. Every now and then we hang out in the park and we conversate. And she's come to me for help a couple of times and all of these things. So they come through and the counselors tape up these 2 giant posters that's got a whole bunch of food items on it, and we call them holiday packages. So every 3 months you can go to Access Secure Pack, their website or their phone number or whatnot, and you can order $125 worth of food, but you can only do it if you've been charge free for 18 months plus. And I'm one of the few dudes in the pod that have been charge-free that long. Now, I could go to my friends and say, hey, could you order me maybe $25? And I could go to another friend, hey, could you order me $30? And another friend, could you order me this and that? And, like, I can have a bunch of different people go and order them, and they don't have to order them at the same time. They can just send their little order, and it all combine up to $125, and I can get it. So I could easily do that. But I don't ask people for stuff because it bothers me. I can't do it. Like, it really takes me a lot to ask somebody for something. So Jess was like, hey, are you going to order this? And I'm like, every now and then I may order something for myself, but no, not really. She's like, man, can I get it? I'll make a deal with you. I'm like, well, I'm listening to you. And she was like, well, look, I'll give you 25 and and I'll order 100 for myself. And I'm like, all right, you know what? That sounds like a good deal to me. I don't mind, because if I can't order it for myself, I want to help people out. And as long as they're paying for it, good. But I looked her square in the eyes and I said, look, prison rule number 1. If you are not willing to lose it, don't let it out yourself. And by that, I mean this. If for any reason you get locked up, or you get transferred, or I get transferred, don't come down the road 3-4 years later and you see me talking about, hey, yo, man, where my money at? You owe me. No, I don't owe you nothing. This is a risk that you are going to have to be willing to take for me to let you order in my name. So they were like, no, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. And I was like, all right, the second thing is this. If y'all get locked up, do not, and by y'all, I mean her and her boyfriend, Kirk. So don't send word over to me saying, hey, man, give that to somebody else. No, I don't owe them. I don't owe them nothing. I'm not going to pay them. This is between you and me. You know what I'm saying? Are y'all willing to abide by this? Because if you're not, y'all ain't using my info. They were like, no, man, we respect that, man. We know how you are, Chris. I had just met Jess over here, but I've actually known her boyfriend, Kirk, for many years. Me and Kirk don't really like one another, but for Jess's sake, we tolerated one another because I was cool with Jess. So we had that agreement. So a couple of times there was no problem. Holiday package showed up. They got theirs. I got mine. No issues whatsoever. And even for the Christmas one, because you get the 4 $125 orders, but then they got a special one for Christmas, around December. It's just $75, and it's different items and stuff, and you can order TV and radio and headphones and some all that stuff, at the same time that doesn't go into the $75 worth of food. So I got my brother and his wife to order that for me, and so when I get it, they're at the table when the sergeants, the property sergeants, bring it in to pass it out. So I give them 3 blueberry cheesecake Danish, the Clover Hill Bear Claws. And them things are, my God, them things are good. I gave them each a big bag of pretzels, and I gave them each 2 mackerels and a spicy mustard sauce. Like, I looked out for them, like, here. They didn't have to pay me for that. They didn't have to give me nothing for it. Like, I blessed them with it, and that was mine. And I blessed a couple other people. That's what I try to do, man. I try to put a smile on somebody's face. So we've had this deal in place for almost a year now. Well, last Friday, before they pass out the new packages, they're supposed to pass them out this week. Jess and Kirk get to fighting over some stupid stuff, like freaking stupid stuff. So I'm like, hey, it is what it is, I'll hold it, in case y'all get to come back to the pod. I'm going to have my 25, but y'all have your 100 waiting on you. Like, I got discipline when it comes to that, especially when I owe somebody else something. I'm really not going to touch that. I'm a man of my word, point blank, period. And so I'm in the shower yesterday, and Jess sends word over saying, hey, give that 100 to somebody else in the pod, and you just keep that 25. So I came up out the shower, and I pulled up on the dude who she said was supposed to get, which is actually a Christian brother of mine. And I was ready to, man, what you trying to put in the game, man? Like, what's going on here, man? Because everybody knows my deal. Everybody knew that deal. I'm trying to, I was hurt. I was betrayed by that. I thought me and her was cool. Like, look, I'm a Christian, and I finally had the money saved up so I could buy the Bible that I've wanted for the last 20-some years. Even when I wasn't a Christian, I still wanted this particular Bible. and it had leather, genuine leather. It had the onion skin pages. It had the silver gilt edges. It had the, the two little tassels and everything that you could use as bookmarks. Like, I've wanted this Bible for so long, and I'd finally just gotten it like 2 months before I come over to the pod I'm in now. And I'd kept my old Bible. It wasn't the most expensive thing I've ever owned. That would be my player and my TV and whatnot. But it was my most favorite possession. I've been wanting a revised standard version Bible for ages. Because to me, I think that's the best translation biblically. I think it has the least translation errors in that translation. So I literally used to lay in the bed. I would pull my hat down over my head, and I would take a sock that I took the ends and I sewed them together, and I would pull that down like a hat band, and that blocks out the light. And I would literally take that Bible, and I would hug it to my chest and lay in the bed, and I would tuck my chin down so I could smell that leather. And I would daydream about being on the street, and I was wearing some square-toed, ankle-cut Italian boots. I really like those types of boots. And I had on some dark blue jeans, a white T-shirt, and just a really dark leather jacket. Nothing with straps and buckles, but just a racer jacket that's just smooth and just nothing fancy. And I would just, I would daydream about being on it. I was smelling that leather, and it really brought that alive to me. It made that daydream so much more real to me because I could actually smell the leather. I was smelling my coat. And I remember, several months ago, she was running around hey man, I really want a Bible. I need a Bible. Has anybody got a Bible? And I was like, you know what? If I can help somebody get the word in their life, I'm going to help them get the word in their life. And I wasn't going to give her my old Bible that was beat up, and I've got stuff written in it and notes and, all of this stuff. So I took my brand new Bible and I went out and I said, hey, Jess, I know you've been asking, for a Bible, so I'd like to give this to you in the name of Jesus. God bless you. And I've given her several workout books. I've done so much for this person. There was a dude in this pod named Jooyeon. Now, this dude is 6'2", 240-pound solid muscle. This dude was actually training to be a professional boxer before he got caught up in the gangbanging. And he come to prison. This dude tatted up. Dudes are terrified of this dude. So, he was the barber in the part. He could cut hair. He could cut black people's hair really good. This dude is one of the best barbers in the world when it comes to cutting black people's hair. But he can't cut white people's hair because the hair is just different. With black people, you can just go over it with, one guard. But with white people, you got to actually feather our hair to get it to blend in and look right. So I had Jess cutting my hair. So instead of that dude pulling up on me, he pulls up on Jess to intimidate her, and Jess gets scared. So I step right in between. I'm like, yo, look, dog, no, that ain't going to happen. She's cutting my hair because I asked her to cut my hair because you can't cut white people's hair. It is what it is. I stepped to the dude. He backed down. He didn't want that smoke for real. I've done all these things for her. When her and her boyfriend were beefing with all the dudes on the top tier, I let it be known, yo, look, y'all not going to jump them. Y'all not going to stomp them out. I'm going to get involved in this. And if I get involved in it, I got a Christian brother that's going to get involved in it. Because me and him got each other's back in this part. So, all of these things that I've done for her, and for her to send word over to me, that had the real potential of putting beef between me and my Christian brother. And this is the first Christian brother in prison I've been around in 15 years. He's the only one I've got in prison that I can talk to about the Bible. I can talk to about my faith and my beliefs. So for her to sit there and do that, to break her word, to disregard her deal, I was seriously hurt by that. So when I pulled up on dude, I was aggressive. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna be honest. If me and my Christian brother would have got to fighting, that dude would have beat my ass. Period. I'd have got a few good licks in. Don't get it twisted. I'd have showed up and I'd have showed out, but at the end of the day, I'd have got my ass beat because this dude. Look, I'm going to give you the perfect person that he is built like and he moves like. Aaron Donald, defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Rams. They just won the Super Bowl. Go look him up online, and I'm telling you right now, the boy is built like. He's a freaking animal. Man, yeah, that's a big boy. But look, So I have no choice though, man. I'm not going to be punked in here because, like I said, you got prey or you got predators, and I'll be damned in hell before I'll become anybody's prey. So and like he's like, look, dude, calm down. Like you about to say something, man, that you can't take back. And I really was. He's like, man, remember, man, you're letting your pride and your ego get involved in this. And I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, man, you know what, man, you're right. So he's like, look, dude, just write a kite and send it back there because we got ways of getting word to one another, even, if we're in different pods and stuff. So I wrote a kite and I gave it to him. And I was like, look, this is what's up. So he read the first kite and he was like, look, you know what, dude? It's still a little bit, saying you might not want to say it like this. Your pride is still a little hurt and wounded. And I was like, well, how so? And he was like, well, and he explained it to me. Because I sit there and wrote in there that you're breaking the deal with me like I'm some kind of bitch. And he was like, that's too aggressive, like, in this and that. And then at the end, I told her, like, look, if you ever see me again for your own safety, don't speak to me. Like, we're done. Don't speak to me. And I was like, all right, you know what? You're absolutely right. And so I went back and I rewrote it again, and, I kept that stuff out of it this time. But I still told her, like, yo, you did wrong. Like, this is all I've done for you, and this is the deal we had, and you're going to disrespect me like this? Like, I'm hurt by you right now. Like, I don't.
You have 1 minute remaining.
She's going to get the kite, but the dude that sent word the first time, he went over there and told her last night while he was working, but he couldn't get the kite to give to her. And, she told him, like, look, you know what? They're going to transfer me out of state. I don't even care anymore. But, I still got to get this situation straightened out. Because, I like Jess. Like, it surprised me how much I liked her when I've stayed away from gay people my whole life in prison. Like, this is the first one I've ever really dealt with. And it opened my eyes to some stuff. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? We got the situation straight. Me and my Christian brother are good, so that's all that matters. This has been Rena and Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. For those of you who listen to me on Apple Podcasts, I'd appreciate it if you would review me and rate me, preferably 5 stars, but I'll take whatever you give me. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you for using GTL.